Senzo Meyiwa murder trial continues this morning with his close friend Tumelo Madlala in the hot seat. In fact, he identified accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, as one of the men who entered the house on the fateful night. Defense teams will poke holes in his testimony as they argue there was no botched robbery. In fact, our reporter Moloko Moloto is in court and he joins me now for more. Let's talk about the latest in as far as what we've already heard from this witness. What's going to happen today?
Good morning, Wara William Lehong. Well, we heard from the state witness, Mr. Tumelo Madlala, a friend of former Bafana captain or slain Bafana captain Senzo Meyiwa, who was present in that house on the day Senzo Meyiwa was killed. You will recall that his testimony is that there were 2 men who intruded into the house of the Kumalos, and gunshot was fired, and as a result, Senzo Meyiwa, we all know, died on that day 14 years, in 2014, I beg pardon, which is almost 9 years ago. Well, he's been arguing that there were intruders. We know the defense is saying that that is untrue. In fact, the defense is saying that there was never an intruder, arguing that the people who know the truth as to what exactly happened to Senzo Meyiwa are those who were in the house, and this would be Kelly Kumalo, her sister Zandi, as well as their mother, but also there was Tumelo Madlala himself, as well as another friend of Senzo's, that is Mtokosi Sitwala. Interestingly, the defense lawyer, Mr. Sipo Ramosepele, did not mention the name of Longwetwala, the boyfriend of Zandi Kumalo at the time, when he's mentioned the names of people that he believes know the truth as to exactly what happened to Senzo Meyiwa. And you would recall that on Tuesday, there was a statement that was deposed, I think in 2019. That was about 5 years after Senzo Meyiwa was killed. This statement had been deposed by the brother-in-law of Senzo Meyiwa, Mr. Mlungi Sitwala, and in that statement he actually indicates that he was telephoned by Mr. Tumelo Madlala on the day Senzo Meyiwa was killed, saying to him that Senzo died when he was trying to intervene in a tussle or a fight between Longwetwala and Zandi Kumalo. Now, he says he was told that by Tumelo Madlala, who was in the house. Now, that particular statement was not admitted in court, all because it had not been commissioned. But we had Tumelo Madlala himself questioning the validity of that statement, asking why it had taken so many years to depose that statement, saying that he wants the person who deposed that statement to come to court. But we also heard when the defense was poking or trying to poke holes in his testimony, one of the questions they asked to Mr. Tumelo Madlala was that because you had a cell phone with you, and you have already told the court that after a gunshot went off, you ran into one of the bedrooms. Why did you not call for help? Why did you not call for the police's 10111 emergency number so that the police can come and assist you? He then said, look, in my entire life, I have never dialed that particular number, but you must also understand that I was in an unusual situation, and it is very easy for you to say that I should have done this and that. For me, the circumstances were really not conducive for me to make that call. But another thing worth noting, William, is that we heard Tumelo Madlala at some point becoming irritable at the fact that the defense kept on insisting that there were never intruders in the house. And he was saying that I am fed up with this argument that there were never intruders, while I know that there were intruders. I have no reason to lie to this court, he said. I have no reason to protect anyone who was in that particular house, because I knew no one except that I knew Senzo Meyiwa, who was my friend, the one who died.
Let's unpack that a bit further, Moloko, because obviously we aren't able to see his face, but you are there and you're able to see his demeanor. And we can hear from his voice that he is very blatantly even going beyond just responding to what's being asked, but further elaborating or adding more details that wasn't necessarily asked of him. What's your assessment? I mean, what's the mood like and what have you seen just in as far as his demeanor is concerned?
Well, it depends. There are instances where you would see him smiling or even giggling. But there are instances wherein he would be so irritable. I'll give you one example. There was a time when the defense was asking him to describe the type or the features on the face of one of the intruders, specifically accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, as he's seated there in the dock, because he was saying, look, he was talking about the type of beard that particular alleged intruder had at the time. And there was a moment when we saw the accused number 2 calling on his lawyer, trying to say that, look, I actually, I never had that type of a beard. In fact, I would challenge the witness, Mr. Tumelo Madlala, to come closer to me in the dock and try to observe or assess my beard. And we had Mr. Madlala becoming so angry, saying that he will never get anywhere closer to the 5 men accused of killing or on trial for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, saying that to him they are enemies and he doesn't care about them. He will never get anywhere closer to them. And that's where you, as earlier as I said, when he was saying that he doesn't understand why people keep saying that there were no intruders in that particular house. So those were the moments where he kind of like lost his cool or his temper. But obviously that would be the work of the defense, to try and poke holes, to try and make the witness to discredit him, essentially. That is their work, because ultimately their argument or their work is to try and discredit him and project him as a witness that is not reliable.
And dare we say, catch him off guard, as it were. Moloko, thank you so much for your time.